The future is now. Finding the no-so has never been easier. Subscribe to us on our new YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and bookmark the new home for No Holds Barred, The Jenny Position, Wrestling War Zone, and all your favorite no-so podcasts at NorthSouthConnection.com. It's new year, new no-so. NorthSouthConnection.com.
Give me danger, little stranger, and I'll give you a piece.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next United States Heavyweight Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude!
There's nothing in my dreams, just some ugly memories. Kiss me like the ocean breeze.
Please welcome the newest members of the Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko.
Will be my lover, I will shiver and sing.
The world's greatest athlete and newest member of the Dangerous Alliance, the world's TV champion, Stunning Steve Austin.
Nothing left alive but a pair of glassy eyes. Raise my feelings one more time.
Please welcome one of Sting's best friends and a little stinger himself. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Bobby Beaton! It's not a lineup, it's not an army, it's not a stable, and it's not a family. It's an alliance of businessmen who will bring WCW down to its knees.
North-South Connection, welcome to episode number 16 of the 7 Months of Danger podcast. I am your host, Sean Kidd, and as always, I am here with my band of married men. Up first, Scott Shiflin. How are you tonight?
It's podcast episode 16. It can almost drive me home drunk from the bar, so let's see where we're going.
I'm trying to correlate the number with what you just said. What did I miss in that?
16's got his learner's permit.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I don't get it. Matt, Souza, how are you tonight?
You see, Schiff, Sean never got a learner's permit because he used a horse and buggy when he was 16. So.
Yeah, you're right. I was Amish. You're correct. I was definitely Amish. Logan Crossland, how are you tonight?
Hi ho, hi ho. Off to WCW we go. Oh, wrong. That wasn't the Mary.
No, that was Seven Dwarfs.
Sorry. But yeah, here I am. Yeah.
More like Seven Dwarfs on this call.
My God.
Yeah.
All right, so we are
I
here.
fucked that up. I was just being funny.
It's all good. I had to come up with something more creative than what we've done in the past, and anyway, we failed. So here we are.
Don't lump us in with you.
Yeah, I will because you are part of the podcast, so therefore, if I fail, you fail because that is host privilege. All right, so we are starting off hot as always, and gentlemen, we are one episode away from a Super Brawl. So we are looking at officially February 22nd, 92 through this February 29th, 1992. However, I do have a surprise match that I snuck in that we missed on the last episode that I did specifically for Matt Souza tonight. But we will get to that after we get to the Meltzer notes. So the Meltzer notes take us back to February the 10th, 1992. So we'll kind of do the round robin deal like we normally do. And before we get to our first match, we have two sets of Meltzer notes, one from February 10th and then from February 17th. So let's jump right in. So first off, Milwaukee for the pay-per-view show did something like a 30,000 first day. So it should sell out the 6,000 seat Mecca Arena. Steve Williams, Terry Gordy, and Junkyard Dog have all come to the office for interview. I believe Dog will be brought back, which is one of those annual mistakes that every new regime does. He's supposedly down for 325 to 280, so at least he's in better condition. But I can't see the purpose of bringing in the guy past his prime when you've got young guys that are more entertaining that could use the experience. Well, they're a surprising little dead weight on the cards now, so they always need some to keep fans from being too satisfied with the product. Matt, any thoughts on Williams, Gordy, and Meltzer, who historically has always made fun of
I mean,
junkyard
it still
dogs.
works.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, Sousa. Any thoughts?
I mean, look, I do get the thinking because JYD is a pretty big name, but he sucked in 1990, and now you want to bring him in 1992. Like, I mean, I guess if you want to use him on like house shows to have like a 3-minute match against some nobody just to pop the crowd, I get it. But other than that, I mean, what are you bringing him in for at this point? There's no reason for it.
Yes, I agree. You went 1990, so I think you were being kind. I was going to go more like after his feud, I'd probably say after WrestleMania, WrestleMania 3, he was kind of done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But you're being kind.
He was done at WrestleMania 3 too.
Yeah, I think he was pretty much done at WrestleMania 3 too. You're
Trust
probably
me,
right.
I watched that match for Promoso on this very North Side Connection feed.
All right, very good. Nice plug there. Williams, okay, Shift, this is you. Williams and Gordy would obviously be used as heels against the Steiners, but no deal has been finalized as of yet. So reading this, the thought of these two teams sounds amazing, and we know that eventually does happen. So your thoughts here, Shift?
What's interesting is this was always said this was a Watts move, but this is Kip Allen Fry who's doing this. So I think it's pretty interesting because, you know, what everyone says is like when Watts takes over in a couple months, he brings in all his boys. But looks like Williams and Gordy and even JYD, who, you know, got their start in Mid-South, were being brought in beforehand. And I think Scott gets hurt with like a punctured lung, so I don't think we even get to see this, do we?
We do indeed. We do see. I mean, we won't see it in our watch on this because in the NWA tournament that comes up, Williams and Gordy beat the Steiners in the first round, which is considered like a big, huge shocker at the time. So yes, you do get to see it. Yep, absolutely. All right. Next up, Logan. Speculation is Marty Jannetty and Shane Douglas will be coming in. But I don't believe that's finalized either. One more WWF name is said to be 70% sure of jumping, but he's only a step above JYD. So any thoughts on Marty Jannetty and Shane Douglas coming in?
Shane Douglas was pretty good in his WWF run at this point, so I think that would have been a good new young prospect they could have brought in. And Jannetty could have been good if he could stay off the drugs and stuff like that. I think if he could keep his mind clear, he probably would have been a good addition for him. But I don't think either of those. Well, Douglas eventually happens, but Jannetty never comes over. So
and Logan, as we've seen in 2023, Jannetty can't even stay clean now. So
that's true.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, and very, very disturbing things on Facebook and his social media about his possible daughters, and Shane Douglas, actually comes in and actually forms quite the surprise team with one Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So having one banger of a match at Starrcade '92, which is still one of my favorite tag team matches of all time, but that's on a different pod, different show, somewhere, somehow. But all right, Matt, Kip Fry has a meeting this week with Jesse Ventura. WCW wants to sign Ventura up for a multi-year contract, presumably to try and build the anemic syndicated ratings by doing worldwide wrestling with Tony Schiavone. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, kind of interesting that he wasn't already signed up by this point. I mean, they've pretty much advertised that he's going to be at SuperBrawl, so it's kind of weird that I guess he was on like a handshake deal at this point, which is strange because I feel like a guy like Jesse Ventura, that's a guy you sign like almost immediately as soon as you get word that he wants to come in and wants to work with you. And I mean, he would be a big boost for worldwide for sure with Schiavone. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they would want to sign him to a multi-year deal.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think it eventually happens, but thinking about Jesse on Worldwide, like where David Crockett used to be,
right?
It's just such a weird thought. But anyway, Schiff, they'll probably be bringing back the color commentators role on the shows. It's no secret they want Jim Cornette back to do WCW, but don't expect the deal to be done. It's funny, but probably the best guy they could put in that role if they want Ventura for syndication is right under their noses and worked in a job role on syndicated tapings. On February 2nd, and that's Scotty the Body, who we all know as Raven. So, Schiff, any thoughts there?
Yeah, Cornette coming back as a pipe dream because he starts Smoky Mountain very shortly. So, would have been nice. And I believe Scotty does do some commentating or...
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
wasn't sure if I was getting him confused with when he was with Johnny Polo in WWF, but yeah.
And he comes in as Scotty Flamingo here, and he comes in to challenge for the light heavyweight title here I believe it's in June, like right after we're done with this podcast.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
So yep. So he'll be in a Scotty Flamingo. All right, Logan. This next one, I'm gonna ask for your opinion because the last sentence of this one cracks me up. February 1st to Philadelphia, Drury 1200 as Ron Simmons beat Buddy Parker. Taylor beat Tom Zink. Steiners beat Page in Vegas. Abisco pinned Bagwell. When Medusa interfered, Brian Pillman pinned Morton. Sting and Rhodes and Steamboat beat Rude and Eaton and Anderson with Paulie Bull Rope to Dusty. And Abdullah the Butcher beat Cactus in the bloodiest cage match seen in years. Cactus, who I said to have gotten a 4.5-inch gash on his forehead at the hairline. Abdullah attacked and bled all over Bill after.
Oh, jeez.
Logan, any thoughts on that?
I would have paid to have seen that, and I would have paid to have seen Paulie bull roped to Dusty. I think that was a pretty entertaining to watch, but not a horrible card. But probably would have been a pretty entertaining show to be at.
Yeah, as much as we've all shit on Abdullah, I think I would have paid big bucks to see him bleed all over little tiny Bill after taking photos.
I guess Bill Apter has hepatitis and he didn't even know it at the time.
That popped me. Bled all over Bill after. That's amazing. This next one, I have no idea who he is, so I don't care. Ron West was rehired as an event coordinator, so we'll skip over him.
Should have hired Don West.
That's Don's brother, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, are they like the Harris twins, Ron and Don West?
yeah, I don't
No,
know.
they're not Nazis. No.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Susan.
Okay, this one I don't, Susan. This is so dumb. Referee Randy Anderson is sporting a broken hand courtesy of somebody's face.
Oh, well. the fucking wording on whose face? I want to know whose face. Like, who the hell was Randy Anderson gonna punch? Like one of the fucking Patriots or something? Like you're gonna lose that battle. Like Paulie's the only one that's his size.
It's just such a random news story. It's somebody's face. All right. And last but not least, on February 10th, 92, Shift, there are negotiations going on to use Lawrence Taylor for a gimmick at the next card at the Meadowlands.
They're paying him in crack cocaine.
They're paying him crack cocaine. All right. And your dog, was that your dog, I assume?
Don't call him Pee Wee.
Yes.
All right. Apparently your dog is not a fan of Dave Meltzer.
Who is?
Nobody. But I will tell you, I'm popping at the hand of courtesy of somebody's face might be one of my all-time favorite Meltzer notes. All right. So we're going to move on to the 217 Meltzer notes before we get to our first match. So let's see who's up next. Is it Logan, I believe?
Yes, that's
all
my
right.
turn.
Lots of news regarding newcomers and contract dealing, so we're still talking about this. The much talked about negotiations between Kip Fry and Jesse Ventura during the middle of last week haven't resulted in a deal at press time. It wouldn't be surprising for a deal to have been struck by the time you read this. However, WCW is offering Ventura a 2-year deal to work with Shivani on worldwide and syndication, plus do color on all the clashes and pay-per-view shows. Missy Hyatt has agreed to a new 2-year contract.
I need you to add a couple of more zeros to that one, Kip Allen Fry, you son of a bitch. But no, yeah, that's interesting. I'd be interested to see when they get that deal done, but obviously they get it done at some point.
All right. So, and any thoughts on Missy re-signing?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. Okay, excellent. All right, Shift, big one here. Back to our Crock and Roll days. Nikita Koloff was also inked this past week to return as a top singles babyface, teaming with Sting and a company against the Dangerous Alliance. We'll talk a little bit more about that on our next episode. Also expected to be headed in are Greg Valentine and Dick Slater as a heel tag team. The Lord only knows why.
Nikita, we'll see his peak in Crock and Roll, but he was definitely like I don't even think he was that good when he returned the previous year to feud with Sting. But here he is coming as a babyface, and he's gonna be one of the top ones, and looks like Ron Simmons just getting pushed further and further down. And I wonder who else is going to get pushed down, because we have the Steiners in as well, and there's only 4 members in the Dangerous Alliance and like 7 baby faces that want to kick their ass. So yeah, it should be interesting. Greg Valentine and Dick Slater. I wonder if Greg Valentine was that was who Dave was talking about as a step up from JYD.
That would make sense. Honestly, if you think about it, it's a shame. It's 1992, because back in the day, Greg Valentine and Dick Slater would have been a hell of a freaking tag team. Probably just beat the shit out of people. All right. Oh, this is my favorite. Here is your. All right. Are we back? Are we back to Sousa? We're back to Sousa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here is your every pod update. Scott Norton is supposed to be coming in as well. Apparently, as a babyface between Japan tour.
Oh, thank goodness he keeps updating us on the Scott Norton situation. All the kids in the schools, they're asking about when is Scott Norton coming to WCW. So thank goodness he's giving us our weekly updates.
See, he wants him to be fire, but he keeps coming back with ice. So there's that.
It's almost like Meltzer's trying to will it into existence.
Right.
That was a fire and ice joke, guys.
That was a fire and ice.
I
I got you. I got you.
I got it. I'm just saying. I'm dying. Well, the good news is by the time that happens, Norton that's not till 96.
I want there to be a weekly update until he shows up on that first Nitro.
You know what? I just might make it up, even if it's not in there, just to keep the gag going. But anyway, all right, Logan. There's also talk of signing Big Bam Vader to an exclusive full-time deal and having him give up his international commitments and push him as one of the lead group of heels against Sting. But given his Sweet Japan deal, estimated $200,000 per year for 12 weeks work, it'll take a major financial commitment, one would think. So we know how this pans out, but $200,000 per year for just 12 weeks is a pretty good deal in '92 in Japan.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick deal. I mean, I guess you have to be away from your family for that time, but that's still small compared to what you have to be away from your family when you work for like the WWF at this time. So, but yeah, that would be a huge signing if they could get him on full time for sure.
Yep, and as we know, as we get into the future, that definitely happens.
Mm.
All right, Schiff. Here we go. As for Terry Gordy and Steve Williams, they were in office about 2 weeks ago, but no deal has been reached. Although there's a lot of speculation about a feud with them and the Steiners. And again, the Terry Gordy and Steve Williams thing is turning into a lot like the Norton stuff. Like this is the fifth time we've talked about them.
Basically, if you were wrestling in Japan in the early '90s and you like sniffed WCW, you might be coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
or
it.
you might not.
That is correct. And I'm going to briefly go through the next two, and then I'll go to Susan. So no talk whatsoever regarding Marty Jannetty and Shane Douglas at this point, so that was very short-lived. Steve Armstrong is back in action and missing a few weeks with a knee injury, which none of us really cared about to begin with. Okay, here you go, Susan. Medusa is out of action after a hernia operation after being injured on 2-2 in Philadelphia as an expected back in a few weeks. Any thoughts on Medusa's hernia?
I'm sure Logan is very upset by this news. So Logan, it's okay. We're gonna get through it. She'll be back in a few weeks. It'll be fine.
I don't know how I'll recover.
Mm-hmm. All right, Logan, because Susan, get ready because after this one, I'm going back to you again.
Oh, Jesus.
Some talk of making Teddy Long, who's under contract but not doing anything, a color commentator.
Oh, Jesus.
Have to go one-on-one with me, Mark Callis.
So I've recently watched some of the 1993 when they make him a backstage interviewer, so I can only imagine that would be a absolutely horrendous idea. So, yeah, not looking forward to that one. And she probably got a hernia from how horribly she tries to act all of the time. Her acting was so bad that that just happened to her. So,
amen. I will agree with you. All right, so Schiff, I will get to you after the next
Skip
one.
me on this one.
I have to for a very particular reason, because it's a very good inside joke. Sousa. Ventura caused a minor uproar on Cody Boyd's radio show on WALE in Providence 2 weeks ago, back when the town of Fall River, Massachusetts, was brought up, and Ventura said it was one of the only places he'd ever been to that was worse than Vietnam, which upset the mayor of Fall River, who found out about it during the week. So is this where the Fall River ratings came up, Sousa?
I mean, look, first of all, yes. Second of all, now look, having lived in this shithole city my entire life, I've never been to Vietnam, but I'm going to tell you, I would imagine that Vietnam is probably better than this place.
Fall River 8. That's my... All right, Schiff. El Gigante has returned home to Argentina because his mom died.
It's pretty sad. I don't know how it's news. I'm pretty sure he was gone from WCW.
Is she El Mamagante?
I don't know. It's pretty sad news. I don't know how that's news. She died.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was gone from WCW by this point because he joins WWF shortly, within 6 or 7 months.
Yes, he is pretty much done at this. I don't know if I don't think he ever comes back.
I also want a update on El Gigante's mother's funeral every week, much like Scott Norton.
All right, I'll do my best. We'll see what happens.
Mhm.
All right. I believe we're going to Logan next. So, you get another house show here, Logan.
Yay.
February 9th at the Omni, drew 2,500 paid and $26,000. 4,200 in the building with comps as Tommy Rich pinned Joey Maggs.
Oh boy.
Terry Taylor pinned Big Josh due to outside interference from Harley Race. Mr. Hughes pinned PN News. This sounds god awful so far. Johnny B. Bad pinned Richard Morton. Steiners beat the Young Pistols. Ooh. Barry Windham pinned Larry Zbyszko.
Ugh. 2 stars beside it, Sean.
I know. I'm not giving the ratings because I disagree. I'm sure it was a 4-star banger. Sting and Rhodes and Steamboat beat Anderson and Eaton and Rude with Dusty Rhodes bull rope to Paulie when Sting pinned Eaton when Windham interfered and hit Eaton with the telephone. Zbyszko jumped Dusty Rhodes on the floor, and Windham was at ringside and making the save for Dusty, and that was 3 stars. And then we got another Abdullah.
Wait, that's the cage match. When Abdullah and Cactus had to do the...
Correct. Half a star. So, all the matches in this show, except for a couple, just got totally shit on the star rankings. So, any thoughts, Logan?
Yeah, if we could watch the card from the Steiners Young Pistols match on, I think it'd probably be an all right show. But the 3 or 4 matches before that look pretty terrible. So I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, looks pretty bad. All right, last but not least, I think this goes to Souza because I had no idea this happened. Curtis Hughes' suspension was lifted because WCW could not substantiate the charges against him. I have no idea what they're talking about here.
I was going to ask you, what are these charges? I don't know what they're talking. Maybe he was the man that Randy Anderson punched.
I think they thought he was on drugs.
I think it was something to do with, I think it was something to do with steroids or something like that, or drugs, and they tried to suspend him. But there was no previous Meltzer notes about it, so maybe that got lost in Randy Anderson's hand hitting a face or something. I don't know.
He must have dropped that notes in the toilet where he wrote most of his notes for previous weeks.
All right, so a very busy couple weeks here of Meltzer with a lot of nothing, but still always entertaining as always to make fun of and read. All right, so we're going to jump into our first match now. At the beginning of the pod, I said we're going to start on February 22nd, 1992, but in my research, I discovered that we had missed a very pivotal match on our last episode that I really felt the need for us to go back and look at because I knew Matt Souza would want to watch this match. Right, Matt?
Oh yeah, I could not wait. The suspense was killing me about this 5-star classic.
Well, the reason why is because we have a match that happens in our current watch that is set up because of this match. So I felt like we needed to get the context behind it because
it had nothing to do with spite, of course.
I'm a perfectionist when it comes to the product that we give out.
I would never say anything else.
All right. So your special bonus match tonight comes from Worldwide. It is on February 15th, 1992, and it is Larry Zbyszko taking on one half of our favorite tag team, the Patriots, Todd Champion. So let's jump right into it. Larry, so before this, there was a fantastic interview. Larry's interviewed by Eric Bischoff, and he calls Todd Chumpion, and he is nothing but an example for the Dangerous Alliance because Chumpion suffers from delusions and thinks he's a Desert Storm fighter. No one cares about Chumpion, and Chumpion is and Larry has forgotten more wrestling moves than Chumpion will ever know running around the desert eating a sand bug. And then Larry says that he is the top thug of the Dangerous Alliance, and he calls Chumpion a jerk, and I thought this interview was absolutely wonderful. And I'll let you talk about that after I talk about the match. So the match goes on. Larry's out with Paul Lee, and Larry looks like he has a really fresh haircut, so he looks very prim and proper for his match. He also looks very, very old with his haircut. For some reason, when Larry came out to me,
that's because he is old.
Well, this match to me, he looked extremely old. I don't know why. And then when he gets to the ring, it looked very much like a father in a ring with his older, taller son. There was just a big height dynamic here for me. Crowd is really into this, which it made no sense whatsoever. Like, it's not like piped in. You can legitimately see the crowd is super hyped. Larry hates that the crowd is hyped and tells them all to shut up and to keep their mouths shut, and then he calls them jerks, which is awesome. We have full Nelson exchanges, which seems really stupid in logic because Larry is like 4 feet tall and like the top champion is like 7 feet tall. So it makes no sense. Paulie is yelling and says he hates young people. Larry eats a lot of shit on turnbuckle throws. And then He takes him like straight on in the head, and then he gets hit with a clothesline from behind, followed by a top rope shoulder block. I thought Larry was bumping pretty hard for him. He then gets press slammed. Larry escapes a headlock with a spin kick. Champion, the idiot that he is, gets distracted by Paulie on the apron, allowing for Larry to hit him from behind and hit the brainbuster for 3. I don't know. For me, I thought this match was perfectly fine. I thought Larry was pretty damn funny in this. The one argument for me, and I think this will be a trend over this podcast show, is particularly, is why is a Dangerous Alliance member still overselling for someone like Champion? I actually went 1.5. I thought it was a perfectly solid. And by the way, the brainbuster was pretty visually cool looking considering, the height differential. I thought it was fine. So Susan, I'll go to you first because I particularly picked this match just for you.
Thank you so much for coming to me first. You really are a mensch. I thought this sucked.
Oh, and I forgot to ask best and worst match, but I think hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed.
Yeah, so keep going. Sorry.
No problem. At one point, Paul says, quote, I hate young people even though I'm one of them. So Sean found his spirit animal. That's very good.
Oh, yeah. I hate old people even though I'm one of them. That's right. Correct.
So also, apparently this was the main event of this show, which, oh boy, really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I did go 1 star on it because the brain buster did look good, but I mean, the vast majority of this match was a full Nelson or a headlock or some form of shoulder lock, arm lock bullshit. I mean, for the most part, this match basically existed. I personally thought it was more fun to watch my grass grow in my backyard. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen worse. I'll say that. We've definitely seen worse. So despite your best efforts, Sean, this is not the worst thing we've seen. So 1 star for me.
I think 1 star is fair. I mean, even though I think it's 1.5, not that bad.
I'm nothing if not fair.
That's fair. Schiff, how about you?
This match was something. I do love that at one point Larry complained that Todd had too much oil on his body. I will say that Todd had a full Nelson on Larry, and Larry tried to get out of it, but Todd flipped him around and gets him back in a full Nelson, which was pretty impressive. Todd actually hit a shoulder block from the top rope, which was also impressive. And then Todd almost killed Larry with a gorilla press slam. All within like 30 seconds of this. Chinlock of Doom. Larry was able to hit the brainbuster and it was over. I gave it 0.5 star. I did not enjoy it.
I would give you shit. I think you drastically underrated it, but I won't. You're wrong, but I'll move on. Logan, how about you?
I'm not going to give you shit, but you drastically underrated it. You're wrong.
Go ahead, Logan.
I'm going to shock you, Sean. I went with you. I went 1.5.
Good man.
I thought it was, Larry complaining about Champion having too much oil on himself was really funny. I thought that was funny as well. Champion has the full Nelson on him at one point, and he kind of slips out of it, but then Champion wheelbarrows him back up into the full Nelson. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. I thought it was really awesome seeing Larry hit Champion with the brainbuster, getting the big guy up like that. I thought it was pretty impressive. And my last note is I said I might have been in a good mood, but I didn't hate this, so I went the same as you.
All right. So what do we give it overall?
1.125.
I think that's a perfectly fair.
Yeah, it sucked. That's what that shows. Yeah.
All right, 1.25. I mean, listen. It is what it is. All right, we're gonna move on. So, February 22nd, 1992, we are going to WCW Pro, and pretty big match here, 8-man, and we got a lot of these multi-mans leading into SuperBrawl. So this match is Sting, Marcus Bagwell, and the Steiner brothers taking on Cactus Jack, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko. So pretty big match here on Pro. And to me, it's like Cactus keeps getting involved in these alliance situations, so that's kind of odd. But Bagwell starts and smacks Bobby across the face. Rick in and clothesline to Arn and Larry, and then there's a belly-to-belly to Larry. Paulie flips out outside as Rick runs around the ring. Arn spits at Sting to get him to tag in. There's a press slam to both Arn and Bobby. There's a crisscross by Sting and Jack, but Sting jumps out of the ring to chase Paul, and Rick comes in. Steiner lines Jack, and Sting slugs Bobby. Rick hops on Sting's back and ring to taunt the alliance. Scott Simmons does a stiff elbow to Bobby's face, then a tilt-a-whirl and a Steiner line to Bobby. Scott goes off the ropes, and Jack pulls the rope down, and there's a savage fall to the ground by Scott. Arn DDTs him back in the ring. Scott gets a quick rebound with a sit-down powerbomb to Larry. Everyone starts fighting. Bagwell in the ring with a cradle suplex to Bobby. Larry breaks it up, then gets a brainbuster for 3. This was a very fun match. Again, the heels sold a lot. The problem with these big multi-mans is they end so suddenly and are only like 10 minutes. And that's one I actually wanted to be longer because what you get is really good until, it shits the bed at the end. This one was fine. I just thought it was too short for me. I actually went 2 3/4 of a star. Again, just too short, sudden ending. If it had a little bit longer, could have easily been 3, probably up to 3.5. But I went 2 3/4. So Schiff, I'll go to you first. What'd you think?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I loved how Arn and Bobby were trying to double team, but were eating Steiner lines. Arn and Sting actually spit at each other at one point. So we're seeing how they hate for this. And then we see things to come in WCW 92, which is Sting and Cactus Jack going at each other. Then when Scott Steiner gets in, who is over like Rover, he almost killed Bobby with a tilt-a-whirl. It was awesome. Arn hit a beautiful DDT on Scott, and you could see why they wanted to push Scott as a singles, even though he didn't go for it. Bagwell was there just to take the pin. I actually went 2 3/4 as well on this, Sean.
All right, thank you, Souza.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I actually went higher than you guys. I went 3 1/4 on this. Just a great sprint. It was very short, and I think with more time, like you guys said, I think I would have rated it even higher than this. But man, just a super fun match. The Steiners have added a ton in the short amount of time that they've been here. Just seeing them do their thing puts a smile on my face because I'm a huge Steiners mark, and I just think they are so good at this point, just doing their thing. The Tiger Bomb to Zbyszko was fantastic. So yeah, I just think they've been a great addition to this feud, and I hope we end up seeing a lot more of them because they've been awesome to watch, to be a part of being there with guys like Arn and Ian. It's great stuff. So yeah, this was a super fun match. Jack, I thought, fit in pretty well too, and Marcus Bagwell was also there, so 3 1/4.
Marcus Bagwell was also there, 3 1/4. Okay, Logan, what'd you think?
I went 2 3/4 as well, like you and Scott. I thought the crowd was super hot for the faces. They are going just batshit the whole time, no matter who's in the ring. It could be mostly Sting and the Steiners, but when Bagwell was in there, they were going pretty wild as well. And this is the match that made me kind of think. As much as I think I've hoped this whole time that the Alliance come across as a strong, dominant force, they really do play the dopey and easy to beat up heels really, really well. Like just bouncing around for everybody. They do that really well. And I think I don't want them to be that, but that's just kind of what they're best at in a lot of these matches. So it comes across really well. But I love the convulsing off of the brainbuster that Bagwell does. He does a pretty good sell of that. And I thought it was a fun, quick 6-man. It was probably a little too quick to be any higher, but I thought it was really, really fun at the same time.
Awesome. So what was the total score on that?
2.87.
Fair. So real quick, Matt, you went really high. I mean, not really high, but you went 3 1/4. Question for you. So the match was only 10 minutes, so that didn't deter from you how good you thought the match was? Because 3 1/4 is pretty high. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just curious.
No, I enjoyed it a lot for it being a sprint. I would have gone higher, I think, if it was a little bit longer, but I thought for the time they had, they made the best of it.
Okay, cool. It's again, like matches like these where it just comes out of the blue, the finish, when you have this kind of talent in it for some reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and I think for me, because this was on a show like Pro, maybe I overrated it a little bit too. Because I mean, for a show like Pro, which is pretty much a C show, I mean, this is a banger of a match to have on that show.
I got it, but our next match will be the exact opposite. So we are going to Worldwide. The truth. Yes, we are going to Worldwide Wrestling, and it is a follow-up to the great first match we talked about. It is Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko taking on Van Hammer and our favorite tag team finally back together, the Patriots. So first off, Van Hammer is way over in this match. I don't understand. Paulie is out with the Alliance. Larry immediately is jawing at all the faces. Paulie says he wants to hurt somebody. Hammer immediately destroys Larry with 2 clotheslines as the crowd stomps "We Will Rock You," which is the most annoying trope they do with him in all his matches. Larry yells and grows loudly as faces have their way with him. Faces takes turns just basically beating the shit out of the Alliance. The Alliance finally gets control by wrapping Hammer's leg around the post. This lasts all of 30 seconds as he gets a tag to Chip, who battles all 3 heels. All of them get in the ring. Chip does an airplane spin. There's a cover on Arn, Bobby up top. But it's not a leg drop, shockingly, but an elbow, and Arn gets to 3. Way, way too much selling for the Alliance heading into the Super Bowl for against this team. Almost 0 offense, and they looked very, very weak. I thought there were some stiff shots in this, but again, the Alliance should not be selling for these freaking idiots. I actually only went, I went 3/4 of a star. This match made me really, really fucking angry, to be perfectly honest with you. Logan, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I went 1 for some reason. I don't know why. Just because I don't think they really messed anything up throughout the match. But what a steaming pile of suck this face team is. Just awful. What a team to throw together. This match, I'm probably gonna go half a star, honestly. But this match is all kinds of suck. Literally nothing happens until the classic shift special ends the thing. Even though he doesn't hit the leg drop, but he does hit the top rope offense that leads to the pin. So, but yeah, I'll go half star. I'm not even gonna give it 1. It sucked.
I mean, I went 3 1/4. I mean, 3/4 of a star, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right, Schiff, how about you?
Van Hammer is one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
He almost falls down
So
doing
it's Firebreaker Chip.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He almost falls down doing a clothesline, and Larry immediately yells, "Come on," after that, which made me laugh. I will say that I guess because I was dealing with Firebreaker Chip and Van Hammer, I was like, Todd Champion's actually decently athletic. Like, I like that little full Nelson wheelbarrow spot that he does. He did it in his first match with Larry, and he does it here as well. And like, it's just a bad match. I want a star. But I'm actually going to lower it to the half a star that I gave Todd Champion versus Larry Z.
You know what? What the hell? I'll join the half star club. So we got 3 for 3. There we go. How's that?
Sorry, Arn and Bobby.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. No pressure.
All right. Well, I don't think we'll have to con Matt too much into this one. Matt, what do you think?
No, I mean, Christ, I went a star on it, but I'll go fucking half star. This match sucked. I mean, I can't fucking believe the Patriots are still a thing. Like, I thought we were done with them at this point, and no, here they are. What a veritable who's who of suck the face team is. Van Hammer's awful, and Larry isn't a guy who at this point can really help him, carry him to a decent match. Good God. Chip's attire is ridiculous. This whole thing is just utterly ridiculous. At one point, Chip hits the sloppiest fucking airplane spin near the end of the match. It's terrible. I mean, the only good thing about it is that it was short, it was quick, and my last note is the Dangerous Alliance having to sell for this trio of suck is a sign that God is a myth. So half a star.
Yeah, I mean, again, going into Super Bowl and the sell the job they had to do for these motherfuckers is atrocious. It's just awful. All right, so yeah, we're all on the same page with this big pile of suck. Still not the worst match we watched. However, Todd Champion is
damn close.
Yes, damn close. Damn close. And Todd Champion, the gift that keeps on giving in suck matches. All right, so our next match, we are going to WCW Saturday night on the same weekend. And for me, and I'm trying to remember, we'll talk about this at the end. This might be the second best match I've watched in the history of this podcast. So this is a big, huge 8-man. It is Larry Zbyszko, Rick Rude, Bobby Eaton, and Arn Anderson versus Sting, Dustin Rhodes, Barry Windham, and Ricky Steamboat. So the only main players in the Alliance face drama we're really missing here is really the Steiners and Steve Austin. But super huge here. So big time main event, all the right players. There's no Rude name calling tonight. So you know it's a big time match when Rude doesn't have time to call us whatever shit he wants to call us tonight. The Ninja is out with the faces, and it's still funny to me actually how fat the Ninja is because it makes no sense. JR and the Tailor-Made Man are on commentary. It starts off with all 8 brawling. The faces clear the ring. Wyndham is opening fire, is just awesome against Eaton and Arn. I still think for me, really, in this whole like face versus alliance drama, Barry is still kind of like the face of this because he's the one that really kicked it off with his hand getting broken. And even over Sting in some aspects, Sting, for me, I think he's kind of the face for me on the face side. Arn has a very not PC karate bow taunting Steamboat that really spits at him to get him in the ring, which again, pretty hardcore there. Eaton and Arn are bumping all over the place for the faces as Paul Lee yells at Steamboat, "Who the hell does he think he goes, "Who the hell do you think you are?" Steamboat in this match is probably the most enjoyable and fun here for me than most matches we've seen him in that we've watched since his Clash debut. Larry takes his turn bumping for the faces. Eaton then takes another turn at playing pinball for the faces until there's a head scissors in the corner, and then Arn pulls the face down onto the floor, allowing Larry and Rude to attack him. Rude gets in and hits a top rope drop kick on Dustin. Arn with an awesome DDT on a Dustin comeback. Rude goes for a Rude awakening, but Sting stops him, allowing Dustin to DDT Rude, but Bobby comes in with a figure four immediately. Really good continued heel work on Dustin, and of course it's Larry who messes up, allowing Dustin to get the hot tag. Steamboat comes in on all the heels. All 4 men in the ring. Crowd is going bonkers. Steamboat up top. Body press on Larry, and there's a 3 count. Rude immediately knees Steamboat in the kidneys and a Rude awakening as we go off the air. Holy shit. This was about 15 minutes of just awesome stuff. Again, one of the best matches we've watched in a long time. Maybe the best one. Second best one we've ever watched on this show. Great heel work. Fired up baby faces. Everyone came with their working boots on, and crowd was hot. I went the full 4 on this. Just this match alone would have sold me on buying SuperBrawl in 7 days. Sousa, I'll go to you first.
I'm right there with you. This is the second best match I've watched, too. I went 4 stars on it like you. A hell of a match to throw out there a week before a pay-per-view. Just all the feuds getting involved. Like, this is the type of thing I was expecting to see more often when we started this show, is just like 6-man tags, 8-man tags with just
it only took 16 episodes.
Right. These guys going out there and 15 minutes of just heated, super fast paced brawling and great wrestling, and like this is kind of what I wanted out of this podcast. And I mean, like you said, it's taken 16 episodes. I'm just glad we finally got it, because I was starting to be concerned that we weren't gonna fucking get it. So I'm glad we finally got one of these. This was fantastic. The pace was insane. Everybody got some shine, which I thought was great. You had Sting and Rude going back to their feud where they start throwing bombs. The crowd was on fire for most of this. The hot tags, particularly to Sting, the hot tag was really great. There was one spot where I think Sting was in, I want to say it was near the beginning of the match, and he's stuck in the Dangerous Alliance corner, and he's fighting everybody, just trying to break out of it, and the crowd was red hot for it. I thought that was great. So, yeah, just an awesome match. The right guy ate the pin in Larry because he's Larry. Sorry, Sean. Compared to everybody else there, he's the guy who should eat the pin, and he did. So, yeah, this was fantastic stuff. Hell of a TV match. So 4 stars from me.
Yeah, no need to apologize for Larry, because this is the beginning of the Larry turn of what's happening with him. He becomes his role in the alliance is very, very clear moving forward from this point on, I believe. Logan, what'd you think?
Yeah, I went 4 stars as well. Just an awesome match, and like Matt said, this is what I've expected to have seen throughout this pod, and we just haven't gotten a ton of it. We got some. We've had some really good matches that we've seen, but this is really what I was expecting a lot of when we started this. But 16 episode in, here we go. I think they really should have gone all in on Wyndham at this point. The crowd couldn't be more behind him, and he's super motivated. You can tell that he really wants to be a big part of this. There's a spot where Arn thought he got one over on Steamboat, and then Steamboat nails him with a super kick as soon as he turns around. I thought that was a great spot. As much as it kind of makes the Alliance look like fools, Sting battling all of them while he's trapped in the corner was an awesome spot as well. Crowd got really behind that. Dustin is truly the ultimate face in peril. He was great selling for all the guys throughout the match. Rude again looked really motivated, so he looked really good in this one. As always, I always say for some reason Arn's DDT is particularly gross looking in this era, so I thought that was really awesome. And the finishing stretch was just all time stuff. So yeah, 4 stars as well as you guys.
All right, so 3 of us at 4 stars. Shiv, how about you?
Yeah, we're making it 4 for 4 here. I my first note here is Barry is so good. Crowd is hot for everything. I loved how you saw this. Now I admittedly am a Sting fan. You saw this with Sting and Flair, but also with Sting and Rude, and throughout their whole careers in WCW, you can put them in at any time and they'll feud. I guess it's sort of like we're kind of seeing this now with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're always linked somehow, except for Sting never was a tag team with Rude, but they always feuded. But you saw it with Flair where they would go back and forth, and Sting and Rude had that hate, but also Rude and Steamboat have that hate as well. So I know you guys haven't been the biggest Rude fan, but he's definitely the most hated of the 4 here. I did as we're getting forward in the match, there was a sick stun gun given to Dustin on the ropes. He flew to the floor after the stun gun. It was awesome. I love the missile drop kick from Rude to Dustin. It's pretty crazy that he breaks that out. I love the fake tag that they do when the ref's back is turned. They do the thing where it's a nice old school heel tag team move. Sean, I guess I just loved when the Andersons did it from Rock and Roll. I loved how Steamboat ran in and interrupted the Rude Awakening to Dustin, and then Dustin hit the DDT, but the DA was still beating his ass. And I love that Steamboat got the crossbody in the win. I love after that Rude hits the Rude Awakening. It's we're not done yet, and I went to full 4 as well. This was a banger of a match. I wish it went longer, but yeah, like Logan and you guys said, the crowd was white hot for everything, and this is everything I thought. I've enjoyed the podcast, but I thought from a match quality standpoint, this is what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we gotten this by episode 5. but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean it to mean that I wasn't enjoying the podcast, but this is more definitely what I was looking to see.
No, I mean, listen, historically, when I look back on this period of time, for me, for some reason, I remembered having more of these.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. So I think
agree.
So I think that was the whole joy of coming into this. And as we went through it, I'm like, all right, where is this? I remember this 8-man, this one particularly, and I'm like, when are we getting to it? And I didn't realize it was so late in the game. But yeah, next to me, probably the second best match we've watched since that Clash tag. I would think we're all in alignment on that one for sure. So, all right, cool. All right. So, yeah, definitely go out of your way to watch this one for sure. Literally 7 days prior to Super Brawl. This one is just amazing. All right, so our next match, we are going to main event on February 23rd, the next day. It is a tag team match between Barry Windham and Ron Simmons, who is clearly falling out of this whole was really red hot there for a while and coming into this and is falling out, as we'll see at Super Brawl, who he takes on and who comes in for the save, which we'll talk about. But it's Windham and Simmons versus Eaton and Anderson. So Windham and Simmons dominate with some fun exchanges by Simmons on a double football tackle, a spinning atomic drop by Barry into a Simmons punch. Heels finally get the upper hand on a miss Simmons charge. Outside, they throw his arm into post, and Paul Lee basically yells a count out is fine. Back in the ring, Simmons and Arn collide. They both tag, winning with lariats to both heels. He goes up top, does an awesome flying lariat to Eaton covers, but Larry in an awkward stare by he and Barry, they don't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, Dustin comes in, and he and Larry go at it. And I'm like, where did Dustin come from? And then all 6 are in the ring. Dustin throws Larry into Barry's taped fist. And the ref counts 3, and I'm like, what? Because Larry's not even in the match. This match was really good until the really stupid ending. That's what a crock of shit. Barry continues to be awesome. This ending was fucking stupid. I went 2.25 stars for this stupid fucking ending because it made no sense. So, Chip, I will go to you first.
I hate when me and you correlate together. I went.
This was fucking stupid.
It was. Dumb. This was
the big old Dusty finish. This is a Dusty Rhodes finish, man.
It's just I was enjoying the match with a stupid ending. It's like Larry comes in. Why not just call it a DQ? Because Larry, I even have a note here. Cruncher runs in for a DQ and presents these. Nick doesn't call it. Then Dustin ran in, and then I was like, Barry pins Larry and wins. What are we doing? But I will say Ron looked pretty good hitting the football tackles in in the match. And I loved when Arn was trying to make peace with Ron, and then Arn was like, no, and like stabbed him in the back. But yeah, I went 2 1/4. Like, it's like our swan song to Ron, it feels like.
Yeah, the ending took me out. So you went 2 1/4 too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. Ron Simmons did look good. The match was tracking well until the bullshit ending. Susan, what do you think?
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit because I also went 2 1/4 on this match.
We're agreeing a lot tonight, by the way.
I don't like
Very
this.
odd.
I'm
Very
not a
odd.
fan. I'm not.
Very
I must say, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this. I'm going to change my rating of the next match just to be sure. I mean, the match itself was fine, but I dinged it because of the unspeakably stupid fucking finish. I mean, like, just call it a DQ. Why do you need to do the stupid bullshit with Wyndham pinning a guy who's not even in the match? It makes no fucking sense. I mean, I get that the feud is with Larry, but I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
Why not just put Larry in the fucking match and pin him? I mean,
right.
Yeah. Right?
Just have the enforcers reunite for one night. Who cares? It's fucking stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent match with a real stupid finish. I do feel like, and this has been a common theme, the DA didn't get a ton of offense in this match. Like, I feel like it was damn near squash-like for like the first half of this match. And then you get the dumb finish. So yeah, I mean, not much more to add. It's a 2 1/4 match for 3 out of the 4. Logan, what say you?
Oh, nice transition. Are we going 3 for 3 on 2 1/4? 4 for 4, I mean.
I did have 2 down, but I'll go 2 1/4 just because it's not that much of a difference, and it's perfectly fine to go that as well. So I'll make it 4 for 4. I like watching the 2 big hosses bully Arn and eating around. Thought that was pretty entertaining. The only way the Alliance can get any advantage in this match is kind of dodging offensive moves. I think maybe Eaton dives out of the way of a tackle from Simmons at one point. And he hits his shoulder on the post. But yeah, just complete domination by Wyndham and Simmons here. And yeah, this finish was stupid, but it was an okay match before that. Nothing super to write home about, but I thought it was pretty good for the most part.
Yep. So, man, we're agreeing a lot tonight. So that's 2 matches in a row, minimal, that we have all been on the same page. So that's pretty crazy.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're just we're well synced group tonight.
That must be it.
Anyway, all right, let's see how we do on this next one. If we do the next one, this will be a little scary. So we are actually we're going to February 29th, which is the same weekend as SuperBrawl. So we got 2 matches to talk about this weekend. Our next episode we'll do SuperBrawl. So we're going to WCW Pro, and our match, Tom Zink and Marcus Bagwell versus Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton. So funny story about Tom Zink and Marcus Bagwell. So in DC where I live, I actually went to a house show where Z-Man and Bagwell challenged Greg Valentine and Taylor Made Man for the U.S. tag titles at the DC Armory on April 3rd, 92. So I'm letting you right now know, Zink and Bagwell, at this point in time, as we get into SuperBrawl, Bagwell is actually feuding with the Taylor Made Man. This will transition into him and Zank feuding with him and Valentine for the U.S. tag titles. So I actually saw that match in person. And by the way, DC Armory, same location I saw Capital Combat at. So just a funny
return of RoboCop. Yeah,
correct. So I was there as well. But I remembered this tag. So I remember this tag team just because I remember seeing them, and I went back and looked, and I'll be damned, it was April 3rd, 1992. So that was pretty funny, I thought. So here we go. I enjoyed Eaton and Arn taunting the faces with their belts. Paulie is on the phone, and this time he actually showed him dialing. So most of the time he picks up the phone, he doesn't dial, he just talks, but they actually showed him dialing. So I was shocked. Bobby pops Z-Man with a great right hand and almost sends him over the top rope, which of course that was great. Z-Man selling that this was very obnoxious. Z-Man hits a very stiff karate kick to the face of Arn. Later, Bagwell bitch slaps the hell out of Eaton. Heels finally get control and work over Zank's arm, including Bobby busting out the DDT on the arm called the divorce court that he hasn't done in a very long time. I used to love that move when he was in the Midnight Express. Bagwell eventually gets in and hits the cradle suplex, but of course Zank is stupid and talking to the ref, allowing the Arn to come in, kick Bagwell in the kidneys, then hit him with Paulie's phone for 3. This then leads to heels working over Bagwell and Paulie, whipping him and the Steiners, come out and beat the shit out of Arn and Bobby as Larry and Austin then run out in their tuxes. Clearly, this was taped at the same time as the Paulie Awards a few episodes back. And the heels beat up the Steiners. During this, which I thought was also very funny, the Steiners are getting the shit kicked out of them, and Zink and Bagwell walk to the back and leave the Steiners to get their asses kicked, which was hilarious. So the match, I don't think was really that bad. I like the arm work. I continue to hate the Dangerous Alliance overselling for the mid card. I thought the beatdown was good to add to the heat to the pay-per-view. And I thought Bagwell and Zink abandoning the Steiners was some really ignored heel coward bullshit. I actually went 2.25 on this one as well. Sousa, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I mean, now I didn't put the same rating, so unfortunately we have to break that streak. But I did go 2 on it. I mean, it was minus the stupid finish. I thought it was fairly similar to the last match, honestly. And
I mean, just saying, like the hit and the kid. I don't know. I thought the finish made me laugh more than anything. It was just stupid.
right. I thought Eaton was really good in this match. He hit Zink with a great punch that nearly sent him to the floor. I thought that was really good. Now, as good as Eaton was, I thought Bagwell absolutely sucked in this match. His punches just look like shit. They're so bad at this point. And for someone who's a 5-time Rookie of the Year at this point, you think he'd know how to throw a punch. Good Lord. But yeah, I mean, it was a fairly standard tag match. It was, I mean, that's literally what my notes say. It was another one of these tag matches that end with some form of interference post-match. It was perfectly solid, but unspectacular. So 2 stars for me on this.
All right, I agree with you on that one. Let's go to Schiff. What'd you think?
I don't know if we were all watching the same match.
Well, boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I do feel like the baby faces got too much offense.
Well, I think I said that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I didn't think it was good as you guys thought.
Oh, I thought you were going to give it like
going.
4. I thought you were going to give it like 4 stars or something.
2 and a 2.25 isn't exactly great. I mean, it's solid.
I'm just, yeah. I will say,
it's a below average Impact match.
It's not so nice to be on the other side of this, is it, Sean?
No, it's not actually. How dare you guys? This is absurd. How dare you guys have crappy opinions?
We're in the upside down world tonight on this one.
We'll say,
I completely disagree with you guys. I would go 1 3/4. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I went 1.5 stars, so like I thought I was gonna be the high man for this, and I'm the low man. Like the only thing I liked was when Bobby laid out Z-Man with a solid right hand, and but they shouldn't have to cheat and hit Bagwell with a phone and for it to end. Like I was just left a sour taste in my mouth.
Okay, so what'd you go?
A 1.5 stars.
Okay, Logan, what'd you think?
Oh my God. I went 2 stars. As much as I'm okay with the Alliance kind of getting their ass handed to them by a team like Simmons and Wyndham in our last match, them getting outsmarted and dominated by these goons early in this match may be a step too far. This is kind of a match that there wasn't much to, and the Alliance gave up too much offense to their opposition, kind of like y'all have all said. But it wasn't a bad match per se, I guess. There just probably wasn't a ton to it, but I went 2 as well.
All right, so what's the total on that one?
Give me just a second, sir. All right, 1.94.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree. That's fair and average.
From now on, that's the Logan calculates the ratings music.
I like that. So please do that from now on, Schiff. That was
all
good.
right.
Well. See, I had it calculated, and then I hit the wrong button, and it fucked it up.
Oh, well, that'll happen. Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
Anytime you need to fill time, just tell Schiff he'll do that noise again.
All right, we have one last match. There's 7 matches we had to review. I mean, really freaking chock full heading into SuperBrawl. So we are going to Worldwide. Same weekend, 229, the same night as SuperBrawl. We have another freaking 8-man, which, again, crazy. So it's Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko taking on Ron Simmons, Big Josh, Brian Pillman, and Tom Zink. So we've had a totals. Austin been missing this whole time. So I think we'll find out why on our next episode. But interesting tag team here. Ron Simmons and Big Josh, which, by the way, Ron Simmons and Big Josh are your current U.S. Tag Team Champions, and Brian Pillman and Tom Zink are former U.S. Tag Team Champions. So not a bad little setup here. I think all of these are solid with the exception of Z-Man for the most part. The first thing I noticed is the Golden Girls in the front row as Rude cuts his music. Tonight, we are Sleazy, Sloppy, Snaggle Toothed Suck Fish.
That was amazing.
Very good. That was very good.
That was very original
I
and
gotta give it
different.
up.
I have no
I'm
idea
proud
what
you
that
got
means.
that one out too.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means, but that I didn't fuck it up. You mean? Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't an Arachnaman situation.
It was not an
No,
Arachnaman situation. But, let's see. Apparently, it has been announced that there will be 8.5 men tags where Paul Lee will have to wrestle as a half a man, and that is coming your way, which I thought was pretty funny. That was announced during commentary.
I wanted to ask you, what does that mean? Does he have to like wrestle the match on his knees or like?
I don't know. I guess that means that there'll be 8 mans, but he's going to be the other half, so he's considered half a man because the rest of them are men, and he's not. He's half a man.
I mean, he's a human man. I mean,
I know, but I guess he's not a wrestler, and they look at him as half of a man because he's not really a man. I guess they're basically calling him a pussy, Matt.
I see. Yeah.
All right. So, John, I mean, would you like to see an 8.5 man tag with Paul Lee? No.
I mean, look, I want to see it. I was just very confused at why there's a half man in it.
I don't know because there'll be 4.5 men on one side and 4 on the other, which means the heels have the advantage.
I see. It's like 2.5 men, but with 4.5. Got
There,
it.
yeah, sure. Very confusing. I mean, it's anyway.
Men.
All right, so Josh shoulder blocks Bobby outside of the ring, and Paul calls his lawyer because it's not legal, which was pretty funny. According to Tony, Arn wants Z-Man in because Z-Man beat him for the TV title about a year ago. Arn plays the face ping pong punching bag. Larry in and screams as he gets beat up by Z-Man. Crowd goes nuts for Simmons and Rude to face off as Simmons flexes and does a Rude and swivel as 2 idiots up front do a tomahawk chop. What are you laughing at? The
Ping pong punching bag.
You know what I mean by
He's
that,
not
right?
wrong. Yeah,
I know.
You know what I mean by that, right?
Oh, no, you're right.
The crowd goes nuts for Simmons and Rude face off. I love Simmons doing the flexing and the Rude hip swivel. Ron Simmons looks very awkward doing that. There's a test of strength by the two.
Damn.
Yes, the test of strength by the two as Larry yells for the apron, signaling to Rude to break him. Rude gets Simmons down and swivel hips in his face. This was awesome, by the way. Pillman and Zink double team Eaton. Zink rolls Eaton up for 3. The ref is arguing with Arn, and Larry distracts Pillman, who goes after him. Arn spine buster Zink and pins him and counts 3. Even though the ref clearly saw Arn never tagged in. This is another like what the fuck sudden ending, not a match that was shaping up to be, I thought, pretty good. I just don't understand these what the fuck endings. Again, so out of nowhere and against almost 0 offense from the Alliance. I actually went 2 1/4 on this. Again, it had the ability to be really, really good, and it just out of nowhere. And the Alliance keeps selling for a team they don't need to be selling for. And we're here on the night of SuperBrawl. So, Schiff, I'll go to you first.
Oh God! All right, you went. What'd you go? 2 1/4.
Yeah, but I could probably go 2. I mean, listen. These matches for me are solid. I just hate the way they end, and they keep selling for these guys. I don't hate the matches; they're solid. I don't know.
Talking about me being a mark, this match sucked.
This match did not suck. The match did not suck.
I did not enjoy this match 1 iota.
Whatever.
I have
faces of an iota.
I know.
Wow.
Those.
I got Rude and Ron doing the pose. That was like the highlight of my match. Like first off, I had what the hell is this hick music? As I've realized it was Big Josh's music at the start.
I mean, it's the same music he's had the entire pod, Schiff.
Impossible question to answer. If I
Have we
remember.
seen Big Josh before tonight? I don't remember.
We've seen
Sean
him 100
has.
times.
Okay.
I haven't even seen Rude 100 times.
We've
Well,
seen
there's
Big
only-
Josh more than we've seen Rude.
There's only been 16 episodes. You can't be 100 times.
Okay. I just did not enjoy this match one bit. I don't know if it's because it was spoiler alert, the last one on this episode, but yeah, I went 1 star. I thought this was a nothing match.
Whatever. Logan.
I went 2. I thought it was
There you
perfectly
go.
fine.
See? Thank you.
This face team sure is something. What a conglomeration of weird fucking people to put together. I love the ping pong punching
bag?
bag.
Yes.
I love that spot. I always do. He does it so well. And then Arn hit a pretty sick spine buster at the end. But again, I said until the finish, the Alliance looked like absolute goobs in this one and got beat up by a team that probably shouldn't be beating them up. So, but yeah, I thought it was fine. 2 stars.
All right. 2 stars. Souza.
I went between you guys. I went 1.5 stars on this. It was a meh match. I mean, there really wasn't much happening in this. It felt very much. It's weird because it feels like the type of match that should be a showcase for the Dangerous Alliance, and then it wasn't. So it's like, what was the whole point of this? Like, we really need the Simmons, Josh Pillman, Zink team to get that much offense on the Dangerous Alliance again. And I know it feels like we're saying this every week because we are, and they're not learning that the Dangerous Alliance should be destroying a team like this, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially when you said this was day of pay-per-view, right? So
Yes.
like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have the Dangerous Alliance struggle against a team like this. So it was technically fine, I guess, but I docked it because of how stupid the booking of this match is to have a match like this on the day of the pay-per-view. So 1.5 stars for me.
All right, so Logan, final tally.
That would be a 1.69.
Yeah, we've had a lot of. How many did we have under 2 tonight?
We only had 3 above 2, so.
Interesting. So out of 7, we only had 3 above 2.
Yes, so it was 4 and 3. Yeah, 4 below 2, 3 below above.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the show. So let's kind of go back and do our overview thoughts. So worst match.
Hammer Patriots.
Yeah, the tag.
Yeah, I think we all agree on a 6-man tag.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Schiff.
Yeah.
All right. Best match. We're all aligned on the 8-man for WWE.
Yeah, that's where we cycled up at.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. So
the good 8-man.
All right.
Right. Yes.
So I would have to least dangerous. I think we're all going to have to agree it's going to be Zbyszko, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. See, I'm not a mark for Larry. I can admit he's least dangerous, motherfuckers.
First time forever, then.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it's obvious the path we're going with Larry, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the least dangerous for the remainder of this pod, to be honest with you. All right, here's what's interesting. Most dangerous, because I feel like I don't know.
Make me go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Schiff go first. This one's tough for me, to be honest, because it's been kind of a potpourri night tonight. So
I'm gonna go with Arn. He got 2 of the pins.
Okay. So Arn for 2 of the pins. Okay. I don't really have any certain feels on this one. So Susan, how about you?
Yeah, I was kind of leaning Arn too. I thought he looked the best in all of these, all the matches that he was in, even in the suck shit Patriots match. So I think I'm gonna lean Arn on this one, but it's real close. It's a tough call on this one.
I was gonna say Arn because he nailed a couple of freaking banger DDTs in a couple of these matches that were freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go with Arn too. Logan?
I'll just agree with y'all. I don't really have any feels towards. I would say Arn, but like he also looked like a goober in all of those just tag team matches when they faced Simmons and Wyndham and Zink and Bagwell. So I don't know, but he probably had the best night of anybody. But I don't think this was a strong Dangerous Alliance episode.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really truly like stood out as an MVP, right? I think this was a tough one. Normally we could do these shows and there's one that stood out, and I don't think that's the way it was this episode.
I wasn't as layup on Larry on least dangerous either, but I'll.
So who would have you been? Okay, that's fine. So who would have you said?
I don't know. All of them. All of them sucked.
Wow. All right. So here's the big one on a scale of 1 to 5. In the journey of the Dangerous Alliance, and here we are, the episode before SuperBrawl. Where would we rank this watch? And this one's tough. I'm never gonna go first on this one. I'm gonna go to Sousa first.
God damn it!
Okay.
I'll go first.
I was gonna say first.
All right, Schiff, go first.
I'll give it a 4.
Interesting. So we had 3 matches
Based on crowd reaction alone.
All right, so crowd reaction.
For the faces.
You would go for. What'd you say, Logan?
That was the faces, though. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
the
for
faces have to have a good heel to go up against for the crowd reaction.
So, Sean, let me ask you. You're the ringleader here. What is this? What are we rating here? Are we rating how we feel the Dangerous Alliance is presented, or
Why are you asking this in episode 16?
Because I think I have a conflicted feeling to what
All right,
y'all
because
think.
my point of view in this is in the journey of the Alliance and what they mean to this time period and in the grand scheme of the history of wrestling and what we feel the Dangerous Alliance was.
Right now, I'm more confused. Just go ahead.
The journey, the historical journey of the Dangerous Alliance and their place in wrestling, and where they ultimately end up in this time frame in wrestling.
I can go next if you need more time, Logan.
Go to Susan.
You overcomplicated your thinking, Logan.
Whatever. Go.
Go, Susan.
Go, Matt.
So I'm not going to go quite as high as Schiff, but I do think. See, the thing with this one is it's not very consistent as far as this watch goes. It was either really good or real terrible. I feel like there was no in between. I mean, I had a couple of. I had a 2-star match. I had a star and a half.
Most of our watches is pretty clear and distinct what it is.
Right.
This one was kind of potpourri.
The peaks are very high, but the lows are super low. So I think. I mean, we did get a hell of a tag match, so I think I'm going to go 3.5 on it. Because, I mean, like Schiff said, the crowd is incredibly hot, even through the suck-ass matches, so I think that does count for something.
Faces.
Yes, I know my faces, but...
the faces.
I thought you said my face. I do. I'm just used to you saying my face.
Yeah, I thought you said his face too, and I was like, damn.
It happens every fucking episode. I just assume that's what you're saying every time I hear face. But I will go 3.5, and I'll cut my monologue short so that Logan has to give his now.
All right, I'm actually just going to say 3.5 myself because, listen, I thought overall the watches were entertaining. There wasn't anything that made me go, oh my god, fuck, shit, you know. I
didn't say that.
Well, no, but you got the banger 4-star match. I mean, which was amazing, which was ultimately the face heel match we've been dying to get. So for me to go below a 3.5 for me probably wouldn't make a lot of sense.
I believe the Hammer Patriots 6-man tag made me go, oh my god, fuck shit.
Yeah, okay, one match out of 7 for me made me go fuck shit. But so I go on 3.5, but the majority of it is probably because of the 4-star match we got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right, Logan, sorry.
So in all the matches, we went in the realm of 2, so I'm going 2. Mostly because the Alliance looked like a bunch of goobers in a lot of these matches. I thought they looked like idiots in most of them. And I thought that that's what we were basing it on, how the Dangerous Alliance looked on this journey. So I was confused as to what the rating was.
I also get that point of view.
Yeah, the matches were very consistent, but I just don't think they were presented very well in this episode. So they did have the great match, so I will give it at least 2. But if that match hadn't been on here, I probably would have gone 1 and maybe even lower.
I think Logan told me to go drop my score to 3.
I'm not thinking about the score again. Move on.
No, listen, he made a great point, right? I mean,
I know he did, but I'm not changing my score.
I know,
again.
but you know what? I'm being fair because Logan made a great point about how much these motherfuckers sold for some bad people. So, yeah, Logan, I'm with people. I feel for you.
I mean,
I hear you.
I get them selling for teams like Sting and Steiner's and the bigger teams with the stars in them, but they do too much for these people that are Hammer and the Patriots and just fucking Zink and Bagwell and Big Josh.
I guess part of me secretly enjoys watching it because it's so ridiculous.
You sadist.
And they do it well, but I just feel like at this point they're supposed to be this thing that they're just never going to be that they are in my head, if that makes sense. So
well,
I don't know.
We don't have that many episodes to go for them to do it, and I'm beginning to think maybe they're not going to. So, all right, but I'm gonna join it to the finish line no matter what. But all right, so with that, we come to the most controversial part of this podcast. It's the plugs. So, Schiff, are you ready to do your thing, or?
I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's go.
Should I save you for last?
Yeah, please.
All right, we'll save the not best for last. Souza, how about you?
Wow,
like the plug.
My God, that's Schiff. That's uncalled for. I'd be very upset if I were you. You can find me on the extreme 3-way dance on the North-South Connection, right here on the North-South Connection, where we are currently in 1998. We've just started 1998, so that is a blast to do. So give that a listen. You can also find me on GC Dub, a game-changing podcast on this very feed. There's a new episode of that out where we preview all the stuff that's happening in Game Changer Wrestling, including all the big WrestleMania weekend shows, all 38 of them that they have going on WrestleMania weekend. So give that a listen. That is myself and Jennifer Smith. Jenny hosts that, and she does a great job. So give that a listen, and you can find me on Twitter at msouza1991.
All right, Logan.
Highway to the Impact Zone. We just did the 2 shows after Destination X 2006. We'll build our way to Lockdown 2006. We have a new documentary pod here on the North-South Connection called Talking Docs. That's me, Jennifer Smith, and Roger Morissette.
It is a great name.
Mm-hmm. I came up with it. I'm just
good one. Very good.
And then I'm on this. Jake is doing Ruthlessly Aggressive by month now, so I'm on the whole build towards Backlash 2003. So that should be out soon as well.
Awesome. As for me, you can find me over on the Pop feed on the Comics Pod. Traders of the Lost Arks.
Oh, thank God. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, Traders of the Lost Arks. Well, I told you I was saving the best for last. Traders of the Lost Arks. We recently just did one on the what was it? The trial. Well, shit.
Right, him bitch smacks. What's her face?
Trial of Yellow Jacket.
Yes, the trial of Yellow Jacket.
Looks like Sean can't remember what.
Well, because we just picked our next arc, which is going to be on Power Pack, which is 1984.
Power crap.
No, from 1984, which Tim and I have a great fondness for. So that'll be a really good one when we get to it, and probably about a month from now by the time we get to record it. The other thing that is coming up, and I will announce it here first and foremost, we are rebooting NWA Crack and Roll. That'll be over on the Place to Be Nation feed. We will have rotating guests in there, and we might have a couple of the originals in there. That will be coming up, probably relaunch in May. A couple of the folks on this pod will be joining me, along with probably a couple of the originals here and there, but a little bit of an abbreviated version to get us through the timeline a little bit quicker, but more to come on that. I look forward to doing that. That should be a lot of fun. So that is it for me right now. And now I am going to turn it over to Mr. Scott Shiflett.
You can find me on the Pop feed with Play While You Listen, video game podcast. I host that. They let me give me free reign, so that's a lot of fun. Souza was my first guest. It was awesome. Also, I don't know if these guys said it. Someone's eating their mic.
I'm sorry.
YouTube Roulette, which for some reason they made me host this past episode too, and that was a train wreck of great proportions. We had a Buddy Landell versus Tully Blanchard 38-minute classic from 1998, which
good lord
looked like it was on a MRSA infected ring.
98.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was on the side of a racetrack as well.
It was at a racetrack in
Yeah.
BFE, North Carolina.
You're welcome.
That's a Crockett special in 85. I can't believe he did that in 98.
Yeah. And just I can be found on Twitter at Scott_Shiflett. Listen to everything that's going on here on all three feeds. We're cranking out some bangers.
That's a weird middle name, underscore. I gotta say.
Yeah. How do you underscore a Twitter name?
Make it in 2012. I mean 2010.
Okay. All right. Schiff, you did pretty good.
I know. I almost forgot my own podcast name again.
Well, look, happens to the best of us.
I mean, I shit the bed on my plug, so I did it for you tonight.
I know you took over for me. It was great.
Yeah. Your father protecting you, isn't it?
Yeah, I took one for the team tonight.
Mafaja.
Anyway, so guys, that's it. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we finally get to talk about SuperBrawl II. So we've been building up to this pay-per-view for a while, so hopefully it'll be a great show, great watch. We will be joined, as always, by Jacob Williams, who does all the pay-per-views and clashes with us. So until then, I am Sean Kidd. He is Matt Souza, Logan Crossland, Scott Shiflett. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Stay dangerous.
All my life I want waves at my front door. No green grass, no porch. I just want seashores all my life. All my life, pretty women done told me lies. All my life, pretty women done told me lies. All my life, pretty women done told me lies. Told me lies, told me lies. I'm in that 745. Hope I can come scoop you up round 745. Slide around with my drop top up or down, you down the ride. Look into my eyes and told me, Daddy, show you right. 745, 745. Hope I can come scoop you up round 745. Slide around with my drop top up or down, you down the ride. Look me in my eyes and told me, Daddy, show you right. 745. Eyes can't hide your hate for me. Maybe it was made for the Maybelline. Spend so much trying to park the car. Barely got a tip for the maitre d'. You head straight to the oyster bar. I tread light each time I speak. Play too rough, might break your heart. And them glass shoes ain't made to walk. These lonely streets, unpaved, unscathed. More than do is giving you the coldest feet. Said that you was coming through after dark to look at the stars and hard to speak. This thing called love real hard for me. This thing called love is a god to me. And we all just got property, so feel free to fulfill the prophecy. Adam eat apple trees, watch out for the snakes, baby. Open streets, ocean breeze, we should get away, baby. I'm in that 745. Hope I can come scoop you up round 745. Slide around with my drop top up or down, you down the ride. Look into my eyes and told me, Daddy, show you right. 745, 745. Hope I can come scoop you up round 745. Slide around with my drop top up or down, you down the ride. Look me in my eyes and told me, Daddy, show you right. 745.